Hey everyone, welcome to another video. In this video we are gonna talk about curly hair and specifically fine curly hair, which is what I have. I'm gonna share with you my ultimate tips that really help me gain control of my hair and really help me style it in the way that I like, in a way that I'm really happy with. Less frizz, more defined curls. So if you have fine, thin, curly hair like I do, then keep on watching to hear my tips. I wrote down 6 tips that make my hair go from frizzy, kind of thin, not a lot of volume, just a lot of wild, unmanageable curls. My hair used to be so frizzy, and there was a time a few years ago where I was thinking what happened to my curls? They were just a bunch of frizz, and I would look back at all the pictures as well and be just huh? My hair used to be so curly. What did I do? How can I get back? Well, actually, this journey all kind of started with my hairdresser recommending me some products that really made me realize that there was more out there. And from that moment on, it was 1.5 years ago or almost 2 years ago, I have been experimenting with a lot of different products. I've tried a lot of different things, a lot of different techniques, and I feel at this point I kind of have my hair down. I have washed it today, so this is day 1 hair, and you can really see that the curls are defined. They don't look too frizzy. Of course, there's some frizz that I don't even really want to get rid of, because there's functional frizz, especially when you have thin hair. Frizz can play a role to add some volume. And when I did some of the curly girl techniques, the curly girl method, when I really followed tips by curly girls that had much thicker hair, a very different hair type from what I have, my curls became too heavy, too clumpy, and you could just see through them. You could just see all the space that was left from them being so clumped up. So what I have been trying to do is find techniques, find products, find things that will make sure that my hair is not heavy and that it doesn't clump up too much while having defined curls. So that is what I want to share with you. I'm by no means a curl expert, but I have done a lot of different things. I have tried a lot of different things and it's working. I'm not saying it's perfect, but these are things you could try out. Okay, start with the first tip. First tip is that we see a lot of hair oiling on TikTok, on Instagram. We see it in all these different videos. It's huge. It's a trend. But it is something that is not gonna work for everyone, and it really depends on your hair type if this is gonna work. And when I just saw this trend, I was okay, I'm gonna try it. I want fuller hair as well. I want to really hydrate my scalp because I have naturally quite dry scalp. So I was going in with an oil, but that didn't really work out. It made my hair really heavy. It made it very clumpy. I couldn't really get it out. It was a lot of work to get it out, and I couldn't really, and it just made my hair so incredibly heavy. If you have a lot of hair, if you have such thick hair, a different curl type, with smaller curls, a lot of smaller curls, really thick, it's hard for products to really get into it. Less coarse hair and just thicker hair, then an oil can work for you. But if you have hair that immediately soaks up all the product, then an oil can be too heavy for you. So what I have been using and what has worked really well for me is actually a scalp serum. So right now I'm using the Curlsmith Scalp Recipe Scalp Stimulating Booster. This is actually a new one that I'm trying out. Before this I had one from, I will put it on the screen. That one I also really liked. So the thing with these serums is that they are not heavy at all, but they will really help hydrate the skin, and they will also bring some moisture back to the hair, and you can use it throughout the week or however long it takes for you in between washes. You can just use it in between washes. You don't have to wash it out. So you can keep adding moisture and you can just wait for it to sink in, and so it doesn't really make your hair really heavy or too oily, too greasy. It is something that will give you the effect in a way of an oil, because your hair will be more healthy, your scalp will be more healthy, it will be stimulated. It will have a very positive influence on your hair. I have definitely noticed that my scalp has become less and less like itchy and dry. It used to be so sensitive, but since I started using a serum on my scalp, I've really noticed a huge difference just in how many like dry skin flakes I can see in my hair, and I think that is a great thing. So for me, this is something that can really replace the role that an oil has with some other curl types that I just didn't find worked for me. It was just too much. So I would highly recommend trying out a serum like that. There are also more affordable ones that I haven't tried. I believe The Ordinary might have one that I want to try out at some point, but that one is like around 10 euros. So that's a pretty good price to try out and just see if that might be something for you if you've noticed that hair oiling isn't like totally working. Then the second tip, I like to use conditioner before shampoo because I feel like conditioner kind of makes my hair too heavy. Like if I put too many moisturizing products in my hair, it will become very flat and it will not hold the curl. It will all be too heavy and it won't be like as bouncy. If I will blow dry it, it won't stay like voluminous throughout the day, throughout the week. So I don't really like putting too much moisture in, and that's kind of like a theme in this video. So what I like to do is put in some conditioner first. And because I think that hair masks are a bit too heavy as well, I sometimes like to wet my hair a few hours, maybe an hour before I actually go and wash my hair. I will wet my hair, I will put some conditioner in, and we'll just put it up in like a scrunchie or a hair clip, and I will just leave it in, like soak it in, and then wash it out after. So it will still be softer, my hair will still be softer, it will still be conditioned, but it won't be heavy because I actually wash it out. And for me, this has really worked. I really like the effect that it has. I've also tried conditioning after, and it kind of depends on the conditioner if that works. It kind of depends how heavy the conditioner is and how your hair exactly reacts, but it is something you can kind of like experiment with. Maybe it's best for your hair to put some conditioning products, like hydrating products, in it before you wash your hair instead of after. I also like to put in the serum, like put in quite a bit of serum before I actually go and wash my hair. So when I wash my hair, my scalp will be really like clean, but it still will feel more hydrated and more like supple. Then a tip that I think you might have heard, maybe you know this already, but I'm just gonna repeat it: shampoo twice. The way my shampoo really gets into the hair, really makes the hair clean, it's so different from the first wash to the second wash. When I wash the first time, I just can feel that it hasn't really gotten to all of the grease in the hair. I can feel like there's still some greasiness left, and then when I do the second time, I can really feel my hair is absolutely clean. And I feel for fine curly hair, it's really important to have really clean hair, because what is gonna be left, things like product that's gonna be left, grease that's gonna be left, it's all gonna weigh your hair down, and we want that volume. We want to really have these defined voluminous curls. We want to make our hair look thicker, and if it's heavy, it will look thinner. Of course, this is my opinion. If you have other opinions, if these are not your goals, you do you. But I feel like shampooing twice has really changed my whole routine. It has really made the way my hair comes out when I style it. It has made it much more easier to predict what will happen, because my hair will always have this same base, this same cleanliness as a base before I go in with the product. So I really enjoy shampooing my hair twice. Then the fourth tip. So this one is more about functional frizz. So we want maybe a little bit of frizz, but not too much. It's really dependent a lot on the way you diffuse your hair. So always use a diffuser, because otherwise you're just gonna blow your curls like to bits. They're just gonna be blown out and you're not gonna have like really curly hair. You need a diffuser. That is like basic, like curl basic. But what is really important is that you are very, very calm, like slow, and at the start, do not touch your hair. Do not go through your hair with your hands. just let the diffuser do its job and just leave it at the same spot for at least 30 seconds. Then move on. I have blow dried my hair in a rush in the past. Like I was like really going in, 2 seconds here, 2 seconds here, going in with my hands. I was in a rush. My hair always looked very, very frizzy when I did that. But when I take the time, and then it doesn't even take longer. You're just more aware that you have to wait. You're just more aware that you're waiting on your hair to get dry. But if you take your time at first, so 30 seconds, move it, 30-second, move it, and just do that for a while until it's almost dry. You kind of have to experiment with this, but then at the end you can like go in with your hands a bit. When it's almost dry, you can really go in with the hands and really start like shaking it up and keep blow drying it. So then you will create more volume. You will kind of like pull your curls apart a little bit because you don't want them to be too clumpy. So it's kind of like at the end you can go in and really create that volume. But if you start doing that at the start, it will get frizzy. If you do it at the very end, you will get just the right amount of functional frizz and volume. So that is something that has really helped. I feel like fine curly hair, it is so easy to get frizzy, so easy. One mistake, one misstep and your hair will be a frizzy mess. So yeah, that is my tip for that. Then we have curl cream. So what is usually done, what I see doing a lot, what is kind of like the way to do it, is you put in a curl cream first in your wet hair and then you will put in a curl gel. The thing is, the curl cream is really nice and hydrating, but it will also weigh down your hair. It's not what holds your hair. What will hold your hair in place is the gel. But if your hair is too heavy because of the conditioner, like the curl creme that you leave in, it can really weigh down your hair and make it look like it has less volume. So I experimented a lot with a curl cream before a curl gel, and I have to be honest that it's not really my favorite, a curl cream. I totally get it because it adds some hydration, and if you have thicker hair, then it will be really nice for your hair because it isn't easy to get that hydration in more thicker curls. But I feel like for me, the amount of hydration, it has to be limited a little bit. I also don't have really dry hair, so I'm kind of like counting on the hydration from the conditioner that I use before the shampoo, and I'm kind of counting on the hydration that I get from the curl gel. And I don't use a curl cream anymore, and I really like how my hair comes out without it. I feel like if I do use it, it's always the question if it's gonna be too heavy. Did I use too much? I could only use like a tiny bit, and then I still felt like it was just a little bit too heavy and my hair just looked a little bit too crunchy, even though it wasn't really crunchy. So personally, I would say if you feel like your hair is too heavy with all the styling products, if you feel like it's too clumpy, try only using the gel and don't use too much of the gel, and use it on like really wet hair and then kind of scrunch it up with a t-shirt. But that's another video. I want to do another video on really my curl routine, but these are just the fine curly hair tips. Like the routine, it will be separate. Then I have one more thing. So the curly girl method is really focused on creating these curl clumps, but I have realized that curl clumps are kind of what is stopping me sometimes to have volume in my hair. And it is nice to have some clumpiness to the curls, but if your curls are too clumpy when you have fine hair, it's kind of like there's nothing left. So with the curly girl method, you're supposed to not brush your hair after the shower. You are supposed to just use your conditioner, get that out of your hair, and then your hair won't be like tangled. But I have found that it is good to take some moments strands to kind of separate the hairs to make them a bit less clumpy. So what I like to do is I brush my hair before I wash my hair, so that is something you have to keep in mind. But then after I get out of the shower, I will take a comb, so not a brush but a comb, and I will kind of like separate the hair, get all the tangles out, and then I will put in my curl gel. And then of course at the end of the diffusing I will kind of shake up my hair and take some curls apart that I think are too clumped together. So for me, I feel like combing the hair before actually styling it, it does do a lot, because having too clumpy hair, it's just not what works. Having too moisturized, having too clumpy hair, it's just not what works for my fine curly hair. Okay, so these are the tips that I have for you for this video. I have many more things to say about curly hair. I can show you my routine. I have more tips, more things that I found out. So if you're interested in these types of videos, if you're interested in curly hair tips, please leave a like and a comment and let me know. I'm really excited to see what you think of this video. And then that is gonna be everything for today. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. And then I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.